A very good evening to you wherever you're watching us from tonight. It is the 9th of July 2022. We have a couple of stories for you on this Saturday, but first, take a look at our top stories tonight. Muslim faithfuls congregate in Eid-ul-Adha celebrations. IEBC might be forced to suspend elections in areas with unresolved domination disputes. Kenya Kwanza luminaries take DP Ruto campaigns to Turkana as Azimio maintains the Western vote hunt. And President Kenyatta launches the construction of World Health Organization's African Regional Operations. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm in the company of Paul Wakoli, our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is ODIDA. Now, Muslim faithfuls in Kenya today joined the rest of the world in marking the Eid-ul-Adha celebrations. This is the festival of sacrifice which falls on the 10th day of the last month of the Muslim lunar calendar. Muslim religious leaders from across the country have urged Kenyans to maintain peace during the electioneering period. Listen in.
Eid-ul-Adha celebrations, which are an important festivity in the Islamic calendar, were marked today across the world. Eid-ul-Adha is the second and the biggest of the two main holidays celebrated in Islam. It honors the willingness of Ibrahim to sacrifice his son Ismail as an act of obedience to Allah's command. Religious leaders across the country have led this celebration through prayers and have urged Kenyans to observe peace in the upcoming elections.
Taifa letu la Kenya sasa hivi linaenda katika vuguvugu la uchaguzi, na sisi Waislamu ni miongoni mwa watu ambao tunatakana tuwe mstari wa kwanza katika kulingania na kudumisha katika masala ya amani.
Former Embu Senator Lenny Kivuti donated 100 goats during these celebrations and at the same time encouraged the Muslim faithfuls to participate in peaceful elections for the development of Embu County.
Watu wa Embu County wote nataka tupendane sana na tuwe kitu kimoja, kwa sababu mambo ya ukabila, mambo ya uchoyo, mambo ya kutengana, mambo ya chuki haileti baraka kamwe.
Elsewhere in Garissa County, the religious leaders have requested for patience and peace in the upcoming elections, urging the residents to avoid leaders that incite chaos during this electioneering period. Interior CS Fred Matiang'i declared Monday a national holiday to mark Eid-ul-Adha celebrations. We wish our Muslim brothers and sisters Eid Mubarak. Mwaka Samuel, KUTV.
Thank you, Mwaka, for that report. Now, IEBC boss Wafula Chebukati has revealed that the commission might be forced to suspend elections in areas with nomination disputes. Chebukati was speaking at the Political Decency and Accountability Forum at KICC, hosted by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission and the Mkenya Daima Initiative.
As the August 9 general elections draw even nearer, the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati says the commission might be forced to suspend elections in areas where ruling on nomination disputes have not yet been made. Chebukati was speaking today when NCIC and Kenya Daima Initiative hosted Political Decency and Accountability Forum at KICC. Chebukati also dismissed claims of IEBC's unpreparedness for the polls. Chebukati reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to holding credible elections as he urged Kenyans to shun violence. In regard to the media coverage of the polls, the IEBC chair clarified that the media would be allowed to do tallying and live transmission of the results. He also said it's the responsibility of all Kenyans and all state actors to ensure stemming on hate speech and violence. Mwaka Samuel, KUTV.
Now, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of politics. The Kenya Kwanza campaign trail landed in Turkana County, where Deputy President William Ruto, beg your pardon, and Kenya Kwanza co-principal Moses Wetangula continue to sell their plans for the country should they ascend to power after the August 9 polls. With just 30 days to the ballot, the outfit has broken into 9 groups to campaign for DP Ruto.
The Kenya Kwanza camp led by Deputy President William Ruto was called out as Miola Umoja One Kenya Alliance presidential hopeful Raila Odinga over his stance on the manual voter registrar and the conditions he issued to the IEBC, daring him to boycott the elections just like in 2017 where President Uhuru Kenyatta was elected in what could be termed as a disputed election. The outfit traversed the larger Turkana County to sell their plan for Kenya if they are elected after the August 9 polls, which as at today is 30 days away. Speaking in Lokichar, DP Ruto promised that the elections will be peaceful.
Mimi nataka nimwambie bwana kitendawili, wacha vitisho, tafuta sera uuzie wananchi, tafuta mpango, tafuta agenda, uzia wananchi wa Kenya. Wacha kutuuzia vitisho, wacha kutuushia masharti. Wa Kenya wamechanuka, watajiamulia ni nani atakuwa kiongozi wa Kenya kutoka mdogo mpaka mkubwa.
2017 ulisema ya kwamba hutaki kusikia mambo ya manual register. Ukasema lazima iwe electronic. Ukasema serikali hawezi kutumia mabilioni ya pesa na tuende manual. Sasa umebiga pautan. Unasema unataka kuona manual register, sasa hutaki electronic register.
The Kenya Kwanza team has promised that they will sort out the elusive insecurity issue that has plagued the county for decades if they're elected into power. DP Ruto was hosted by outgoing Turkana County Governor Josephat Nanok, who was elected on an ODM ticket and has now defected to UDA party led by DP Ruto. He asked the residents to vote in the UDA government, noting that it will be beneficial to them if Ruto becomes the next commander-in-chief.
Hapa usalama sio tafadhali. Usalama ni haki ya watu wa Turkana na usalama wa watu wa Kenya ni haki yao. Nyinyi mnalipa ushuru kama Wakenya wengine, ni kweli ama si kweli?
William Ruto, sababu na wauliza mumchague ili aje asaidiane na sisi hii kazi mzima, hii kazi mingi hii na changamoto hii. Na mimi nikiwa katika serikali yake nitahakikisha tukisaidiana na viongozi wale wengine mtachagua hapa kina Protas na MCS wale mtachagua hapa wa UDA. Tutahakikisha kuwa hiyo usaidizi inawafikia mkiwa hapa.
The Kenya Kwanza team has divided itself into 9 groups to spread their campaigns in different parts of the country to drum up support for the alliance and ensure to collect maximum votes before the August 9th elections. Samson Jura, KUTV Weekend Prime.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta today launched the construction of the World Health Organization African Regional Operations and Logistics Hub at the Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital in Kiambu County. Speaking at the ceremony, President Kenyatta welcomed the WHO's decision to put up the emergency hub in Kenya.
Kenya is one of the 3 African countries selected by the WHO to host a logistics hub that will be equipped with emergency medical personnel, commodities, and equipment to support countries with emergencies in Eastern Africa. President Kenyatta commended the body for the launch of the new innovative initiative to improve the capacities of African countries to respond in real time to increasingly numerous and complex health emergencies.
We are here to break ground for the World Health Organization Africa Regional Operations and Logistic Hub, which indeed is a historic moment for our country and indeed for the entire Eastern and Southern African region. I feel very compelled to commence my remarks by expressing our and my personal sincere gratitude to Dr. Tedros, the Director General of the World Health Organization.
The president said the government has allocated 30 acres of land adjacent to Kenyatta University Teaching Referral Hospital and committed $5 million towards operation of the hub. He also provided WHO with rent-free office space at the hospital's premises to accommodate the initial staff component of up to 150 officers needed to start preparations for the establishment of the hub.
As has been stated, and to facilitate the commencement of these operations of the hub, the government and the people of Kenya have, in addition to allocating 30 acres of land, I speak acres, this man speaks hectares. It's exactly the same. Adjacent to the Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital, we have also committed $5 million towards operationalization of this hub.
Earlier on, President Kenyatta inaugurated a cath lab at the hospital, saying that the facility adds to the growing complement of health service delivery in public hospitals. The Referral Hospital Board Chair, Professor Olive Mugenda, thanked President Kenyatta for being instrumental in the development of the regional hospital. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros said the construction of the Emergency Logistics Hub and Center of Excellence marks Kenya's continued partnership with his organization and the United Nations in general. Tracy Nganga for KU TV.
14 minutes past the top of the hour. We are taking our first short break here at KU TV. Stay tuned.
The percentage in which government is giving opportunities to this specific type of groups under the AGPO, like what percentage has the government given?
No, but like I said, you see, when a budget is done for every year, every ministry will be able to place their budget for it. But whatever is given to them, 30% of the budget for that ministry is dedicated to AGPO. 30%. So if let's assume, for instance, that a ministry is given 2 billion, for instance. Now, 30% of 2 billion would be about 600,000? 600 million. That will be dedicated to AGPO. And therefore, when you go to a ministry, as a young person, as a person living with disability, 600 million is actually meant for you.
This is The Agenda with Benturo Komboka and Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna.
My name is Victor Wali. You can call me Sizzlopik, and you're watching Budding Entrepreneur. I do basically basic photography. Nafanya family portraits, nafanya birthday shoot, nafanya engagement shoot, nafanya weddings, nafanya vitu mingi kwa photography juu zote nimetrainiwa na other people, my mentors wenye wako huku nje.
Unafanya hadi makeup, unafanya everything yenye a whole team inaweza fanya kwa production, which means you mastered your art.
Sana to the Church O'Clock Show. I'm your host, Esther Becky.
And my name is DJ Teros.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. And have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali.
Mama bonde utukuke
So make sure manze umetune in because zitakuwa zina flow pia pale mixes kwa wingi, yani zitakuwa zina come through, and pia performance yani from our gospel artist hapa on Gospel Art
from 7 to
10 a.m. only on KUTV.
Now the interesting part about this plate is that we have a soup cup that is having the chicken soup that remained. So when you're eating, it's very easy. You eat, then you just pour on top. You can just see how thick it is.
Yeah.
So then you eat.
Yes.
Then we have our desserts for today,
Yes.
which is the mshikakis.
Yeah.
Different fruits brought together using a skewer,
Yeah.
and it's good to go.
Today at Ubuntu Water Hub Africa to bring you smart water ATMs.
Took us 5 months to build the first 2 prototypes we had for the mini water ATMs, and that process ended in 2022 January. We've managed to do 70% of what we're using to outsource locally.
Typically a customer, if he has a tag, will come over to the water hub, tap his or her tag, then key in the amount of water that he or she will want to dispense, and then water will automatically dispense from the water hub.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's continue the bulletin. Today, 204 people have tested positive for COVID-19 from a sample size of 2,372 tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate is now at 8.6%. The total confirmed positive cases, therefore, are 335,773. 808 people have recovered. The total recoveries is now at 327,627. Sadly, 3 patients have succumbed to the disease, therefore pushing the cumulative fatalities to 5,663. Away from that, President Uhuru Kenyatta has underscored the importance of well-trained health workers in the delivery of the universal health coverage pillar of the Big Four agenda. Uhuru made the sentiments during the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the Amref International University campus at the Ruiru Northlands in Kiambu County.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has emphasized that skilled human resource is a key building block in the health system that will not be overlooked in catering for the country's health needs. The head of state was speaking as he presided over the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the Amref International University campus at the Ruiru Northlands in Kiambu County.
We're here talking about training young men and women from Kenya and Africa who will be at the vanguard of utilizing and working in these different facilities.
President Kenyatta commended the Amref International University fraternity for its ambitious expansion plan to scale up training for health workers in Kenya and across the continent. He noted that Africa faces an acute shortage of health workers compared to other regions, despite the continent having 25% of the world's illness burden, according to the World Health Organization estimates.
This large deficit has created a pressing need for at least 1 million community health workers, 350,000 midwives, in sub-Saharan Africa just to achieve the critical minimum levels.
Health CS Mutahi Kagwe said AMREF has been a key partner to the continent quest to formulate a new curriculum for training health workers, noting that the new institution will be crucial in enhancing the organization's capacity to offer quality training to health practitioners.
Through the cooperation of AMREF, which funded it to an extent, and the universities who are here, including Dr. Gethenji from the University of Nairobi and the other universities, we have gone a long way in preparation of a new curriculum for how we are going to train all our health workers.
World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said his organization fully supports AMREF in its endeavors to construct another training institution for medical practitioners, saying the 65 years of AMREF service to African countries have tremendously impacted the continent's healthcare sector. AMREF Health Africa CEO Dr. Gitahi Githinji said the AMREF International University looks forward to being awarded a charter to enable it to train more health workers. Caroline Kimwele, KUTV.
County governments need to collaborate with the national government and private sector players to establish water funds that will be used to protect water resources by investing in conservation such as agroforestry, drip irrigation, terracing and soil erosion control. Senior ecologist at Masinde Muliro University Science and Technology, Ms. Stella Wanjala, says this will enable major public and private water users across the 47 devolved units to contribute to the funds in order to finance upstream land and water conservation projects that benefit people across the basins. Ms. Wanjala notes that the global water crisis is underlined by the fact that 785 million people, or 1 out of every 10 persons, has no access to clean water, while more than 2 billion people lack proper sanitation due to insufficient water, according to the United Nations. The government is set to revoke illegally acquired title deeds in Nyandarua County and other parts of the country. Speaking in Ol Kalou Town, Nyandarua County, where he presided over a ceremony to issue over 4,000 title deeds to residents of colonial villages, Lands Principal Secretary Nicholas Muraguri said that the government will also repossess illegally acquired and grabbed lands in a bid to protect the public utility lands. He said that the government was keen on ensuring that it protects the public utility lands everywhere in the country.
Rais alisema na kaamuru all colonial villages in Nyandarua, Nyeri, Kirinyaga na Meru, kabla tamu yake ishe ya pili, lazima kila mtu apate title yake. Ndio miona nimekuja kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo promise ya rais tutafikisha leo. Kwa hivyo wale ambao watakuwa wamebaki kwa colonial villages, kabla rais hajaondoka kwa kiti, hakikisha kwamba kila mtu wa all colonial villages anapata title yake.
Tukiungana na National Commission na PS na EACC, tutarudisha hizo mashamba zote kwa umma, ili mali ya umma iachiwe umma, ili watoto wetu wapate mashamba ambao watajenga university na hospitali na polytechnic, mambo ya kuendelea mbele.
Donkeys, you might think they are ubiquitous, but for many in rural Africa, they are a lifeline. Now, some countries are worried they could even become extinct. Donkey skins are used to make a jiao, a traditional medicine popular in China, and local criminal gangs are stealing and brutally butchering millions of them to meet demand. Take a look.
Oscar and Presley are two very lucky donkeys. They were being smuggled and destined for slaughter, but authorities intercepted the truck they were in and saved them from a cruel death. Oscar and Presley now spend their days relaxing in this field in South Africa. But not all donkeys in this part of the world are so fortunate. It all started a few years ago when, unable to farm the 5 million donkeys needed annually to make a traditional medicine known as Ijao, China started looking for the animals elsewhere, says Simon Pope, who works at British charity The Donkey Sanctuary.
We are taking our second short break. We will be back with sports. Stay tuned.
Now, let's talk about inclusivity as it is structured to be within government.
Groups or individuals, we have the women, we have the youth, we have the persons with disability.
How is inclusion ensured in the county government processes?
Letting the majority have their way, but not ignoring the say of the minority.
Hello everyone, this is the new chapter of Let's Be Fit. I'll be host DiCaplo. I'm here to give you various workouts. I'll be having different trainers. We'll have Zumba classes, we'll have aerobics classes, we'll have boxercise, we'll have kata box. The show comes every Thursday from 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Keep it locked, make sure we keep fit, and that's it from me to you. Let's be fit.
Karibu kwenye mitindo ya kipwani. Yaani unavyoona basi niko kipwani pwani tu.
Unapopika inatakana uko half cooked.
Tui ni nazi imekunwa, inawekwa kwa hii samaki juu. Wewe mwenyewe ukiangalia samaki, mtazamaji, utaona vile inapendeza.
Niko Kilifi, niko katika kaunti ya Kilifi, Bagavazi ya Gede.
Samaki mwenyewe ndio huyo. Huyo kidogo samaki kidogo iko na maajabu kwa sababu ni tumbo yake iko juu ya kichwa.
Karibu sana kwenye mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV, ukiwa nami nahodha mwendesha chombo, si mwingine bali ni bibie huwa linalonukia na kuvutia, Waridi Samu.
Stream live mitindo ya kipwani on our KUTV Facebook page every Saturday 4 p.m.
Tuesday tunakula usiku. Tuachane na break kwanza, tuende lunch. Chapo. Yoyo. Kama mokimo.
Rasha piga shada kuna giza. Zikinai tujinai siweke story. Kata maji pia shada liko nasio nikosa msupo si stress. Kama rende kisha basi nipe. Najua ni
mama. big up. Brother, ukiwa Athi River, big up. Sis, big up. Shows, Mamba, big up. Oya, wase wote. Okay, my principal, big up.
This is Students
Today at Ubuntu Water Hub Africa to bring you smart water ATMs.
Took us 5 months to build the first 2 prototypes we had for the mini water ATMs, and that process ended in 2022 January. We've managed to do 70% of what we're using to outsource locally.
Typically, a customer, if he has a tag, will come over to the water hub, tap his or her tag, then key in the amount of water that he or she will want to dispense, and then water will automatically dispense from the water hub.
The percentage in which government is giving opportunities to this specific type of groups under the AGCO, like what percentage has the government given?
No, but like I said, you see, when a budget is done for every year, every ministry will be able to place their budget for it. But whatever is given to them, 30% of the budget for that ministry is dedicated to AGCO. 30%. So if let's assume, for instance, that a ministry is given 2 billion, for instance. Now, 30% of 2 billion would be about 600,000? 600 million. That will be dedicated to AGCO. And therefore, when you go to a ministry, as a young person, as a person living with disability, 600 million is actually meant for you.
This is The Agenda with Benturo Komboka and Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Angela Okutoi becomes the first Kenyan to win in a Grand Slam. The 18-year-old, together with her Dutch partner Rose Marie Nijkamp, recovered from a set-down to win the Wimbledon's girls' doubles title this evening in the United Kingdom. The Canadian duo of Kyla Cross and Victoria Mboko started the match on a high note, taking the first set 6-3 in 27 minutes. Okutoi and Nijkamp, however, fought back and in 32 minutes forced a tie-breaker with a 6-4 victory in the second set. They were not easily pushed off the lead and won the tie-breaker 11-9 to not only win the match but also write history. And French rider Geoffrey Bouchard is the first cyclist to pull out of Tour de France after testing positive for COVID-19. The 30-year-old Tour debutant suffered through the 7th stage. Bouchard underwent an antigen test which came back positive. Half a dozen riders had to be replaced prior to the start of the Tour de France due to testing positive for COVID-19. Right, we have come to the end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks indeed for keeping us company. And as always, Rumba Africa is coming up next. Stay tuned for that. My name is ODIDA, and our sign language interpreter tonight is Paul Wakoli. Have a good night.